That would be your starship. Yeah, starships are essentially supposed to be your personal housing, which leads to the question about interior customization, which will be a post-launch feature, potentially.
Will you be opening any space for the aerospace able to fly around anywhere?
Will we have 3D freeform space combat?
The answer to that one is always the same for me, which is, if that is the thing that people want the most post-launch, and people are like, oh my god, I want, like, forget more story content, forget more stuff, give me 3D space. I cannot imagine that we're going to line up and say, no, you can't have it. There are a lot of things that the space team wants to do. There is a team that is dedicated just to doing the space game. And they've done I know that it wasn't the space game that turned out to be everything that everybody wanted, but the fact that these people made a Twitch-based arcade shooter inside a MMO rules-based ground engine.
And in the same engine, I think that's important to point out.
Insane accomplishment. That's step one, that's the hard part. There's a whole lot of other stuff they'd like to do in the future. It's all just going to be research allocation. And again, just like testing, once we're live, it's the fans, right? It's when the fans say, this is what we really want. And it's not just the loudest fans, we have metrics. We can tell what you're really doing.
Yes. Next, we're getting down to the real obvious, no, we can't have that yet, questions.
Because the game costs so much, presumably it costs a lot of money to make. How are you going to handle?
Neither of us are working on any salary.
No, I'm not talking about that. How are you going to handle post-launch DLC?
We have not actually made, I don't know if you guys know, we just announced the subscription model today.
Yes.
We're not talking about further downloadable stuff, what's going on, any of that for the future. Like, no discussions yet.
We know nothing.
Yeah.
We may not comment.
What are you doing?
So now that you've actually released, announced your release date, how is the team basically thinking about it? How do you feel? How do you feel, Daniel and Steven, about actually having that finally off your shoulders and being able to point at 30-part threads and say, we already answered that shot?
I don't know, I mean, it doesn't feel real. Yeah. Until this morning when they were standing on stage, I was like, we're really going to do this. Actually going to say that day. Like, it didn't really feel like we were going to do it.
I was really, really excited to be here for it. Like, we didn't actually know when we started this what was going to come out here. I felt so privileged to be, I've been on this project since...
The Empire scored!
Empire, go!
Oh, it is possible. So for you Empire teams, I've been on this project since before there was a project. It's been a long journey. It was really nice to stand there and have them actually do it. It's going to be nicer to watch it go green. Right? It's going to be nicer to watch people start to roll in on the early starts and see the server up and running.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's vacation time.
For me, it's just
a little bit later when we know it stays up.
Not have to answer the same question a billion different ways every
early start.
Single day. But now it's just that. That's what it is now.
Now?
What was I going to say?
Anybody else? Can you what? Can you have a toilet dancer in your starship? No, but if you have the Collector's Edition, you can have a hollow of a toilet. And you can carry her around everywhere you go.
Faction change.
You will not have faction change. So we talked about this way back at the beginning of the project, and we had some interesting ideas of like, oh, could you, if you went dark side on the Republic or light side, could you, maybe change factions? And that was me stomping people down. So here's the scenario, so everyone thinks about it. The Jedi Knight falls to the dark side and becomes a Sith. Alright, you ready? Now, I'm writing the Jedi Knight story, the Sith Warrior story, and the Jedi Knight Who Fell story. So we now have a whole nother class for every time we do that. So we would take those resources instead and actually build a new class.
We got one here. Daniel, go on here.
All right. For PvP, are you going to have people being able to choose who they play against for guilds or people who want to play against certain people? Because
Can you set up a custom match in PvP?
no shit, no.
That's something you're looking at.
Not for sure, yeah.
Yeah, Gabe definitely is looking at it. I mean, if he wants to try and put in more features that will allow, like, proper competitive PvP and...
Yeah. So people can make tournaments and things like that.
yeah.
The adversaries and allies as well.
Well, so the adversaries and allies thing, I don't know. I think people think that we're keeping something secret up our sleeve on that one. Adversaries and allies, you know, from the beginning when we launched the first phase of Guild HQ, we said in the FAQ that's what the point of allies and adversaries is just to match you up on a server. Someone asked me, they were sort of speculating after we launched it, was that really this week? Wow, busy week. They were like, oh, is it going to, for example, perma-flag you for PvP between Guild A and Guild B? And I said no, because to be honest, the amount of problems that would potentially cause is far greater than any potential kind of benefit, you know. And in case anyone didn't get this memo, it is entirely optional. No, we're not guaranteeing you're going to end up on the same server. And also, for example, some people got a bit confused about how your guild can have lots of allies. It's almost, I would say, it's like the Twitter model, in that your guild could have like 20...
Even loves Twitter.
20, it's really handy for the job. 20...
Rock job, follow them. They love it.
You have 20 guilds following you, and of course they couldn't be allied with you because you do a maximum of 3 mutual picks. That doesn't mean anything, apart from the fact that you're popular, you know? So, yeah. And yeah, I'm afraid there will not be any secret cool allies and adversaries features, you know, like perma-flagging, for example.
That shit.
Alright, I think we're winding down a bit because now we're getting to crazy land.
No.
But no.
We were looking directly at you, sir. Hit us.
Do you have any number in mind when it comes to phase 3 and the number of guilds that will be allocated per server?
That's a good question. Do we have
Listen to the shock in it.
Well, it's a good question because we've been talking about it. The answer is there isn't a fixed number because it's based on the size of the guilds, right? So, for example, we do have a number in mind in terms of how many people who are in a guild will be allocated to a server, alright? So just for argument's sake, and it's not this number, just for argument's sake, let's say the number is 15, right? So we might say, okay, there's a maximum of 15 players who will be allocated to a server who are in a guild. And that number could be made up of 3 guilds of 5 people each, you know, or whatever, right? So the number of guilds that will be allocated to a server is going to change based on how big each of those guilds is, yeah? And then you see what, this is the meetings I've had about this. What complicates this is the allies and adversaries system, right? Because we were like, oh, this is really smart, let's do this. So you can do this. So then you get a 500-person guild that allies with another 500-person guild as a mutual alliance, which now means, and they're all in the same time zone, and they're all choosing the same kind of server. Now that means we have to put them both on a server together, and that's 1,000 people on the server, which is a significant chunk of people. There's literally an algorithm to try and work out how this works. And I had to go to this meeting where it was like an advanced maths lesson where they were taking me through how it was going to work, and in the end I was like, I don't get it, but it sounds like you know what you're doing, so... and all they kept saying every time was like, we do not guarantee anyone is going to be placed anywhere. So that's a long-winded way of saying it could be a large number, a small number, you know, it's going to vary by server.
Do you have a figure for server weight then?
As in number of people we want to allocate to a server? Yes.
And I will tell us. Not even a rough ballpark?
Nope.
Damn.
Nor are we going to tell you PCU, nor are we going to tell you...
people in this room.
Yes. Nor are we going to tell you how many servers we're going to have at launch, although you're going to figure that out at launch. Yes, thank you.
The European servers in the UK or where else?
The question was, the European servers.
I'm going to tell you where the European servers are, and you're not allowed to freak out. The European servers are going to be located in Ireland, in Dublin specifically. And here's the reason why.
Don't give them the fucking address. They'll go now.
And here's the reason you're not allowed to freak out.
Mission Impossible.
Ireland as a country is upgrading its internet infrastructure for our game.
So is the UK.
What?
The UK's upgrading its infrastructure.
Not for our game though. Which is a big damn deal, right?
But then you'll bring 600 new employees to Ireland.
Yeah, and that helps, right? I mean, it's interesting. Like I had a conversation with the guys doing the server build a few months ago, and they were talking about the fact that if you look at the gap in time between when we were projecting to launch and then when we were starting to do our servers, because you're obviously locking down the server hardware and what you need to buy and everything else, the time between that point and launch is so small that we're ramping up and buying hardware faster than any tech project ever. Like, faster than Google, faster than Facebook. This is what we're hearing from the server guys that we're working with. They're like, this is unprecedented scale that you're talking about. So then when you combine that, you go to the Irish government or whoever it is who runs internet at home, I don't know, and you say, hey, look at the bandwidth requirements of our game, and they're like, we might need to get something bigger than a T1 line. So they are literally, hey, they got a goal back. I guess that. So yeah, they're literally upgrading the internet infrastructure of the country itself, which I think is damn cool. And then the US server is going to be on the East Coast and West Coast, so it doesn't really matter where. I mean, any major metropolitan city in that case is going to be fine.
All right, we good? You want to go officiate?
I think we're good, right? Is there anything left? This man's hand is tired. We have to stop. And he's told us to. Feel free to ask some questions after we put the microphones down, but no more recording.